What's going on, everybody? And welcome to episode 2 of the Trophy Room Podcast. Again, I'm your host, your boy Nick. On this episode, again, I'm ready to talk NBA, NFL, MLB, WNBA, and more. You know the vibes. I'm ready to get into episode 2. I'm hoping y'all liked episode 1. Make sure y'all like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel on all platforms, and make sure you tell your friends. I'm ready to get episode 2 underway. To start episode 2, I want to start in one of my favorite sports, NBA time. Anthony Davis signed his 3-year, $186 million contract extension. He is now officially the richest player in the NBA right now. He got the richest extension at $62 million a year. And I was over here talking last episode about how Jaylen Brown, the richest player in the NBA, he's not even the second best player on his team. Well, that was quick. So now Anthony Davis is officially the most expensive. Not most expensive. That's a bad way to put it. Anthony Davis is officially the richest player in the NBA, which after what he did last year in the playoffs, I know people label me as an Anthony Davis hater. For me, it's the only thing that really stops me from AD is durability. You know, he always gets hurt. He really doesn't play that much. And that's really my only big thing about him. But, as I was taking my time, doing my research, really looking into what AD's been doing, AD deserved this contract, man. I'm putting all my hater stuff aside, even though people think I'm a hater, but I'm not. I put all like the stuff aside. I really looked into it. He played 56 games this year, and he played in every single playoff game they had all the way leading up to the Western Conference Finals, which was great for AD, which I was really happy for. He played a lot this year. Like I said, 56 games played. He was an NBA champion in the bubble. Oh, that hurts me. He's an 8-time All-Star. He won All-Star Game MVP in 2016, which he had the scoring record, which I believe was 52 or 42 points in an All-Star game. He broke the record. He's a 4-time All-NBA first team. He's a 2-time defensive first team, 2-time defensive second team. He's a 3-time block leader in the whole NBA. He's NBA top 75. And just those are really just some of his accolades, his accomplishments that he's gotten. This past year, he played 56 games. He averaged 26 points per game and 12.5 rebounds. That's really great productive numbers that you want out of your center, especially the Lakers. LeBron's getting older. Austin Reeves started to come up at the end of last year. They started to really look really good at the trade deadline last year when they got D'Lo, when they got rid of cats like Malik Beasley. Austin Rivers started to come up after the trade deadline. It was like once the trade deadline happened, the Lakers did a whole 360. They made the play-in. They literally had just almost the same season as the Miami Heat. They went to the play-in. They won the play-in. They went to the first round. They made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals. Unfortunately, they did get swept by the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. But LeBron really put it out there the last game. But just to go into AD's playoff stats, AD was averaging 22.6 points per game, so really not that much of a drop-off. He did have some stinkers, though. Like, he had a 41-point game, 15-rebound game, and then the next game he had, 15 points and, 10 rebounds. He was a little all over the place for me, but he still showed out in the playoffs. I'm not trying to take that away from AD. He had 22.5 points per game, 14 rebounds. He averaged 1.4 steals and 3.1 blocks in the playoffs. So AD was really playing both sides of the ball for that team all playoffs. Because, LeBron, people say LeBron don't play defense in the playoffs. I mean, I kind of see it, but I don't. Austin Reeves is not that great of a defender. They do have still have Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt did help a lot, but AD's rim protection was great. And as you can tell, 1.4 steals, AD was able to get into passing lanes and really be a defensive force for the Lakers in the playoffs. So shout out to you, AD, man. He definitely really deserved this contract. Definitely really deserved this contract extension. It seems like as long as I don't want to tie him to LeBron and say as long as LeBron's here, he's going to be a Laker for life. Nah, I really think that AD's found a home in LA, and I think the organization has loved him ever since he got here. So as long as AD's in a Laker uniform, he's going to be great. He's going to be great. On to the next extension. I don't have his jersey, but I do have a New York Knicks jersey on. My boy Emmanuel quickly. Just to talk about the Knicks real quick. Josh Hart, 4-year, $81 million extension. Not extension. Josh Hart, 4 years, $81 million contract, which I'm really happy for. Josh Hart definitely deserved it. He played 25 games for New York, 10 points per game, 7 rebounds, 3.6 assists. It may not really show up in the stat sheet a lot, but you can definitely see the big relationship he has with Jalen Brunson, their lead guy. You've seen the way he impacts defensively, Josh Hart. You've seen the way Josh Hart impacts the New York Knicks defensively. You've seen the way he's able to help them out in transition. He's got a little bit of playmaking here and there, and like Josh Hart's just been a huge bright spot for the New York Knicks ever since coming over from the Portland Trail Blazers. As a Portland fan, I loved having him next to Dame, but he just seems like he's at home in the New York jersey. Like I said, next to his boy Jalen Brunson. Thibodeau seems to be using him right, which is good. And now that Obi Toppin's gone, he'll definitely have more minutes. I just don't know if he's going to start. I don't know if Josh Hart is going to start, but he is definitely going to get a lot more time. Oh, excuse me. He's going to get a lot more time, and you're definitely going to be able to see him impact a lot more. Like I said, it doesn't show up in the stat sheet all the time, but if you watch Knicks games, or if you just watch basketball as much as I do, you're definitely going to see it. You saw it last year in the first series when they played the Cavaliers. He was definitely huge, guarding guys like Donovan Mitchell, guarding guys like Darius Garland. He was guarding guys like Karis LeVert, getting steals, getting out in transition, drawing fouls, being really that defensive, I can't think of the word, but really being that defensive-minded guard. And not to mention, he's also one of the best rebounding guards in the NBA. And you really saw that. Well, you can really see it ever since he's came into the league. He's really been that guy. And then coming from a Miami perspective, when we played them in the second round, he was a pain. He was so good. He defended Jimmy Butler really well. He defended guys like Gabe Vincent really well. Max Strus, trying to make sure some of the guys didn't get their shots off. Like I said, running out in transition. He's such a big addition to this Knicks team. And watch when you see the Knicks this year, he's going to be a big part. And the next big part is going to be Dante DiVincenzo. Just to talk about him a little bit. You saw what he did with the Warriors last year. He was definitely able to, like I said, run in transition. He's a good shot maker. He can hit the wide open jump shot. And just another Villanova guy with Jalen Brunson. And I'm pretty sure they all won a national championship together. I actually think Josh Hart wasn't part of that team. Josh Hart was a little bit earlier, but they're all Villanova guys, all Wildcat dudes. The Knicks are gonna be a force, man. Knicks are gonna be a real force this year. They're gonna be a great team to watch. They're gonna be I don't know if I want to say top 4 in the East next year, because you still got the Celtics. You got Miami whenever they get Dame. I don't know what's gonna happen to Philly. You still got Milwaukee. You still got Cleveland. Cleveland's only going to get better, even though there are rumors talking about that Donovan Mitchell doesn't want to be there. Well, there's rumors that it's not that he doesn't want to be there. When his contract's up, he won't sign an extension. That's what they all say. We'll see what happens, in my opinion. But, the Knicks are going to be forced to be reckoned with next year. A lot of additions, a lot of great additions this year, especially Josh Hart. Josh Hart is huge. So just watch out. Knicks tape, baby. My guy made you quickly. You'll see it. Um, so on to the next part of the basketball segment. Team USA. Team USA, man. If anybody knows, they're playing a couple exhibition matches. Their first exhibition match they had was in Puerto Rico. In Vegas against Puerto Rico, the Puerto Rican national team. They won 117-74. They went on a 20-0 run to get into the third quarter, which was led by none other than Minnesota Timberwolves star Anthony Edwards. So just to read off a couple stat lines from the game. Anthony Edwards led the team. Anthony Edwards and Cam Johnson led the team in points. Anthony Edwards 15 points, 4 assists, 4 steals, 1 block. So you could tell Anthony Edwards is really getting into his own, showing his two-way ability, getting out, and if you watch the game, getting out in transition, making good buckets, making good reads, great passes. He's really the engine for this team, Anthony Edwards, because if you watch the game in the first half of the game, they oh my god, excuse me. In the first half of the game, it was a close goal. It was a close game. They were going back and forth. I believe it was I think the biggest lead they had was like 14, but then Puerto Rico started coming back with guys like the dude from LSU. Oh my God. The big man they had, Condit. I'm trying to remember his name. He played for the Celtics. Well, he got drafted by the Celtics, played at LSU. He was the G League Rookie of the Year. Oh my God. That's really gonna bug me. I forgot his name. But like I said, some stats from the game. Anthony Edwards, 15 points, 4 assists, 4 steals, 1 rebound. Cam Johnson, 15 points, 6 rebounds. Mikal Bridges, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Those were like the top 3 guys in like scoring. But I just want to highlight 2 guys that I felt like really showed out and really showed that they're going to be 2 big important pieces for this Team USA team. One of them was Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson didn't really shoot that good. He went 3 for 8 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3-point range. But Jalen Brunson did make himself effective, having 11 points, and he had 12 rebounds as a guard, as just about the shortest guy on the court. So being like that, Jalen Brunson, 11 points, 12 rebounds. 12 rebounds is huge coming from your starting point guard. I thought that was fantastic. And then you can definitely see the impact that Jalen Brunson had, being able to swing the ball, find guys. He was able to really push the pace after he got like a defensive rebound. Jalen Brunson was really pushing the team, which I thought was great. Tyrese Halliburton, 7 points, 12 assists off the bench. I thought that was big too. Halliburton is definitely going to be a key factor on this Team USA team, especially coming off the bench behind the 2 starting guards in Anthony Edwards and Jalen Brunson. And Halliburton really got these guys going. And if you really watch the way Halliburton was getting his assists, he was looking for guys easily. And he had a real good connection with Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson came off the bench as well. And he was second in the team in scoring. So like I said, Cam Johnson is definitely a spark off the bench, and so is Tyrese Halliburton. 12 assists off the bench, I think, is crazy in my opinion. Like that's really great. And just to highlight, he didn't really have that big of a stat line, but I loved what I saw out of Paolo Banchero. Paolo Banchero, Steve Kerr actually made a great adjustment toward the third quarter, which is really what led Team USA to go on that 20-0 run. So one of the main reasons why they went on that 20-0 run, Jaren Jackson Jr. got into a little bit of foul trouble, so Steve Kerr put in Paolo Banchero at the center spot. Putting Paolo at the center, what he was able to do was, obviously Paolo plays power forward in the NBA. He was able to play the center spot, and the Team USA was able to play small ball, which on the defensive end was definitely helpful, because when you're playing a small team like Team Puerto Rico, they were able to defend a little higher on them, So, I think Team Puerto Rico was playing like 5 guys out. So they were able to run with them, stay with them, contest all their jump shots. So they were able to play a little higher and add more pressure to the ball handlers that they have, and really just give them like the not give them the work on defense. With Paolo being there, I loved having Paolo there. Like I said, playing small ball was great. It's not going to work for every team, but I definitely loved what I saw from them defensively. And my only thing offensively with Paolo, if you're playing a small team like that and you get the ball, you got to go, man. Like there were a couple times he attacked the basket. He finished with he had a dunk. He had a dunk. He had a couple decent looks. I felt like he should have been going. That's what I feel like Steve Kerr needs to do, especially if he's going to play small ball with Paolo at the 5, with all those guys on the perimeter. Paolo will have all the space to work, and Paolo's not that bad of a facilitator, so Paolo will be able to get his mismatch, attack the basket, and if he can't get anything going, he can definitely pass it out to the guys on the wing. You have buckets, guys who can create their own shot in Brandon Ingram, Anthony Edwards, like I said, Jalen Brunson, um, uh, Mikal Bridges. Like that was the 5 that really led that 20-0 run was Paolo, Mikal, Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, and Brandon Ingram. So that's really been my thing to take away from Team USA. I think that starting Paolo at the 5, like I said, against smaller teams is really going to help them offensively and help himself, help his game, and definitely be able to put a lot more pressure on the defense. Like when you watch the way that Team Puerto Rico is playing offensively and the way Team USA was up in them defensively, they were switching everything, and it's not like guys were playing in drop coverage. Everybody was in their faces. They were switching everything. I don't think there was I don't think there was a member on Team USA who was playing below the free throw line, and they were able to get a good amount of steals off of them. That's when Team Puerto Rico really started to like have a couple guys drop because it was so clogged up top. And Team USA was really able to, like I said, switch everything, really be up in their faces, never give them the light of day to shoot the ball, pass the ball, nothing. So like I said, definitely having Paolo Banchero was huge for them. I thought Paolo was great. So, but Anthony Edwards, man, he's really the engine for this team. You saw it in the third quarter. Just talk about Anthony a little bit more. When I was watching in the third quarter, Anthony Edwards really sparked the run. Anthony Edwards rattled off, I think, like 6 or 8 straight points. And then once Anthony Edwards started going, it seemed like everybody else had a little more pep in their step. They were like, all right. And so it seemed like Anthony Edwards was the leader of the pack. Like Anthony Edwards, it seemed like he really put like a fire in everybody. So like they gave Anthony Edwards the ball like 3-4 straight possessions. Like I said, he had like 6-8 straight points, and he just kept going. He just kept going in that third quarter. That was that was the other thing that really sparked that 20-0 run hit besides him and Paolo. Yeah, man. This whole team is going to be based off of Anthony Edwards, in my opinion. I know I've said in the past that Jalen Brunson is really going to lead this team in scoring. He might not, but the person who's really going to lead this team is Anthony Edwards, both offensively and defensively. Anthony Edwards is really like Team USA is going to move how he moves. Like as long as Ant's going, attacking the basket, attacking his mismatches, as long as Anthony Edwards is doing that, the whole team's going to respond. The whole team's going to follow in his lead. And Team USA is going to be great, man. I'm expecting another gold medal, in my opinion. I'm expecting another gold medal when we talk about this. And just to segue into the last part of the basketball topic, speaking of an Olympian, my favorite player of all time, I don't know if you can see him, Dwyane. Apparently there's been some disrespect going around on social media about D Wade. And I know it might not be most people. It might be some. It might be some. It might be this person. It might not be you. It could be somebody else. People are talking about Paul Pierce is better than D Wade, which I think is nuts. They were talking about Paul Pierce is better than D Wade. James Harden had a better career than D Wade. James Harden is third best shooting guard of all time behind D Wade. I'm going to say this with all seriousness, and I'm pretty sure everybody's going to laugh at me, but I don't care. The conversation of D Wade and Paul Pierce has to stop. The discussion between D Wade and James Harden has to stop. It's over. D Wade is the third best shooting guard of all time. And shout out to you, OG. He's about to go into the Hall of Fame. He's getting inducted this year, which I'm super excited for. Just to give a little D Wade accolades, I'm gonna go side by side, D Wade, Paul Pierce. I'm gonna do what Jalen Rose did on TV because apparently everybody needs a reminder. D Wade is a 3-time NBA champion. Paul Pierce got 1. Paul Pierce is a Hall of Famer. D Wade is about to be a Hall of Famer. Paul Pierce is a 10-time All-Star. D Wade has 13 All-Stars. Paul Pierce is a 4-time All-NBA player. D Wade is an 8 All-NBA player. 8-time All-NBA player. Paul Pierce made All-Rookie team. So did D Wade. Paul Pierce has a 07-08 the Finals MVP. D Wade has a 05-06 Finals MVP. D Wade is a All NBA top 75 player. So is Paul Pierce. And that's really it for Paul Pierce. And the rest of these are D Wade. He is a 3-time All-NBA defensive player. Paul Pierce has never done it. D Wade is a 2009-2010 All-Star Game MVP. Paul Pierce has never done it. Oh, I'm sorry. Paul Pierce is a 19-point per game scorer in his career. D Wade is 22-point per game scorer. Dwyane Wade he was an 08-09 scoring champion. Paul Pierce has never done it. And this is, like I said, this is straight player for player. I don't want to hear nothing about, give Paul Pierce LeBron, give Paul Pierce Shaq, give Paul Pierce Chris Bosh. Bro, you had Rondo, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen. I don't want to hear nothing, bro. You want one tip. Stop. I don't want to hear anything, bro. Going back to player for player. D Wade is the lead guard in block shots. I don't know where Paul Pierce is. And from the way I looked at it, Paul Pierce don't play defense. Like, I understand Paul Pierce was better in the clutch. Okay, I'll give you that. But Paul Pierce is a better player than D Wade. I'm an idiot. I said that backwards. Whoa. They're going to fry me. Paul Pierce is not better than D Wade. He's not. And just talk about James Harden a little bit. I love James Harden. He's an offensive engine. But he's not better than D Wade. D Wade was an engine too. D Wade was an engine too. Not as good as James Harden, but D Wade. Oh my God, I'm getting my names mixed up. Jeez, I need to slow down. D Wade is the third best shooting guard of all time behind Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. May he rest in peace. D Wade is the third best shooting guard of all time. Then you can put maybe James Harden, maybe AI. Some people argue Ray Allen. Okay. D Wade is the third best shooting guard of all time. That's the last thing I'm going to say about this topic. Because you guys are nuts. Man, you guys are crazy. Oh my God. Okay. Well, on to the football topic. On to the football segment of the show. We have 28 days till the NFL season opener. Again, I'm super excited. I think they're up to. Oh, make sure you guys go on HBO and watch NFL Hard Knocks. The New York Jets are the team this year. I think I saw the first 2 episodes. I was really excited. It looked really good. I was really happy. And Zach Wilson looks terrible. Oh my God, Jesus Christ! I can't believe he's our backup. Pray to God. Pray to the Lord. Nothing happens to Aaron Rodgers. Pray to God, nothing. Because if I have to watch another year of that MILF lover play football, I'm gonna lose my mind. In my opinion, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. So on to the NFL segment, like I said before. Alvin Kamara got a 3-game suspension. He got a 3-game suspension due to his 2022 altercation. He got into a fight the night before the Pro Bowl. I remember what happened last year. I don't remember who he got into a fight with. I just remember it was like a bad altercation. I don't think he was in jail, but he definitely did get arrested. It was like a whole big thing. Yeah, so the NFL decided 3-game suspension, and I believe somebody else got suspended with him. I just don't remember his name, but honestly, Kamara got lucky, in my opinion. The Saints kind of have an easy schedule to start the year off, especially because that division is not all that. So the Saints, first 3 games that he'll miss are the Titans. That's a winnable game in my opinion, even though they have D Hop and Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill. You guys know how I feel about the Titans. If you don't know, go watch episode 1 of the Trophy Room podcast. I did a whole segment on D Hop going there. I did a little background of the team. So he'll miss that game against the Titans. That's a winnable game in my opinion. Especially when you have a quarterback in Derek Carr. You have hopefully a healthy wide receiver in Michael Thomas. You have a year 2 guy in Chris Olave, which I think he's gonna have a good year. Shout out to my boy Q. He's the one that definitely told me about him. Chris Olave is gonna be good. He's gonna be a good wide receiver. They're looking to get. They have Jamal Williams, who's the new RB1, who's going to be the new RB1. Which Jamal Williams is no scrub. He's going to be great. They have a good rookie in. I think it's Kendre Miller. He's a rookie. I just don't remember where he went. But I've been watching a couple videos of preseason. No, preseason's about to start. Training camp. I'm sorry. Kendre Miller is gonna. He actually looks good from some of the videos that I've seen. He looks pretty good. So I don't think the Saints are gonna have any issues with the first 3 weeks without Alvin Kamara. So, like I said, week 1 he's gonna miss the Titans, winnable game. He's gonna miss the Panthers. I think it's a winnable game, and then he's gonna miss the Packers. I think the Packers should be an easy win. I'm not much of a supporter in Jordan Love. And they lost a lot in that Aaron Rodgers trade. Most of the guys really just followed Aaron Rodgers and came to the Jets. Guys like Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard. They still have guys like Aaron. They still have a guy in Aaron Jones. They still have A.J. Dillon. I want to see what happens with the Packers. We'll see. But yeah, like I said, the Saints have a possibility of going 3-0 in Kamara's suspension. So that really only begs the question if they go 3-0, do you change what you're doing because Kamara comes back? Or do you keep going what you're doing and you just try to fill in Kamara to see where he fits? That's going to be a big question when it comes to week 4. And week 4, they're playing the Buccaneers. Bro, like they could easily go 4-0. And I'm telling you right now, if the Saints go 4-0, don't be surprised because those are all 4 winnable games. Don't overthink. Oh my God, Saints winning the division. Saints going to the conference championship. No, the Saints are okay. They're not that good of a team, but I mean, I'm gonna root for them because I'm a Derek Carr. I'm a Derek Carr guy, but like I said, they got lucky with this. Alvin Kamara 3-game suspension, man. 3 easy games. Come back for a 4th easy game. So if he's out of shape, you sit him again if you really need to. And like I said, Jamal Williams will be fine. Kendra Miller will be fine. He'll definitely be happy to get some snaps. Um, the other thing that sucks for them is Benjamin torn Achilles. Um, it sucks for him, but definitely helps out Kendre Miller or Kendre. I don't know how you say his name. Kendre Miller helps him out because now he becomes the official RB2. So we'll see how the Saints team goes. And just to talk about another running back that they might get, leads into the next part of this segment. Kareem Hunt took a visit with the Saints and the Colts. I'm gonna start with the Saints because we're just talking about the Saints. Apparently, he left the Saints with a great visit. Still no deal though. So there's a big possibility that Kareem Hunt can go there. If Kareem Hunt goes there, I definitely want to see what this team's gonna look like during the season because Kareem Hunt was very good 2 years ago with him and Nick Chubb in Cleveland. But then, Kareem Hunt wanted out and he finally got his wish. He's a free agent. So I just want to see where he's going to go. If he does, because apparently there are other teams that are interested in him. I want to see what happens with Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt is a big fantasy guy because he can go out in the field, he can catch a ball. He's a good runner. So he's really like one of those dual threat running backs, which is great for fantasy. And honestly, he seems like a great player. It doesn't seem like I almost said he seems like a good guy. I don't really know these guys personally, but no, Kareem Hunt's going to be a good addition wherever he goes. So we'll see what happens. Just to talk a little bit about the Colts visit. Apparently, the Colts made him an offer, but they were unable to reach agreement, so he left there again with no deal. And it really didn't seem like they had a good connection, the Colts and Kareem. So I don't think he's going to sign there. But like I said, after the Colts visit, they definitely they weren't able to reach an agreement because they definitely did say that Kareem Hunt was getting attention from other teams, like attraction from other teams, like other teams were interested in him. So, like I said, I want to see what happens with Kareem if he does land on the Saints. I wonder what's going to happen because that's a lot of running backs. Because you'll have Jamal Williams, Kendre Miller, Kareem Hunt when he comes back. I mean, Kareem Hunt if he signs, and Alvin Kamara. So that's a lot of running backs. And in my opinion, somebody will get traded. It might be the rookie. It might be Jamal Williams. It could even be Alvin Kamara. They might not. Saints organization might not want him because of the altercation and all that stuff. So you never know what will happen. So I wonder. Just to get into the last segment of the football episode. I mean the football. Just to get into the last piece of the football segment. I really need to work on my speech, dude. My bad. I'm sorry, you guys. Talk about this rookie class. Talk about this rookie class coming into the NFL. I'm really excited to see what some of these guys are going to be like. To start off with the running back class, my 3 main guys, I have obviously Bijan Robinson is getting a lot of attention from the fans, the fantasy owners, and he's making a lot of noise in training camp. So I want to see what happens with him in Atlanta. I hope he's able to shine because people are taking him like the top 5 pick in fantasy. And I'm like, yo, the guy hasn't even touched the field yet. So I wonder what's going to happen with that. But apparently Bijan's no joke. So I want to see how he is. I want to see how he turns out in Atlanta. And yeah, the next running back I have on my list is Jahmyr Gibbs for the Detroit Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs looks like a stud, in my opinion, in that Lions offense. He looks like he's going to be really good. He looks like, I think he's going to be the RB2 in Detroit. And the Detroit Lions are going to be a real team to look out for. I had them as an honorable mention in my top 10 segment in episode 1. So definitely the Lions are going to be a team to look out for. They could possibly go second or third in division. I'm just blanking on who's in their division. But Jahmyr Gibbs is hopefully going to definitely be a pivotal piece for this Lions offense. And we already knew what happened, what the Lions offense looked like last year. They were top 3 in points scored, but they were also top 3 in points allowed. So I'm hoping they can, get it together on the defensive end because we all know they can score the ball. So I want to see how Jahmyr Gibbs does. And my last running back I have is Zach Charbonnet. I think that's how you say his last name. He's a running back for the Seattle Seahawks. I definitely want to see what it looks like in that RB room with Kenneth Walker with Kenneth Walker's injury. So Zach's been getting a lot of the RB1 reps in training camp. And he's looked really good too. So I want to see what happens with that. The Seahawks are definitely going to be a big team that everybody's going to watch out. Another year, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett's getting older. They just added a rookie wide receiver in JSN. I'm going to get to that in a second. And we want to make sure last year Geno Smith wasn't a fluke. He got paid. He got his money. And we want to see you do it again. Like, they were close to making the playoffs last year. So I want to see if they're really going to make that jump this year. I want to see what happens. To get into the QB conversation of this rookie class, I saved the wide receivers for last because it's going to be a doozy. Obviously, you got number 1 pick in Bryce Young for the Carolina Panthers. Some people say the Carolina Panthers can make the playoffs. I don't think so. I don't think they'll make it because, they have good weapons. They have a decent team. They picked up guys like Adam Thielen and, oh my God, what's his name? They got a premier guy not a premier guy, but they got a good player. I forgot his name. I got to look at the depth chart. But just to talk a little bit about Bryce Young, the kid looks good in training camp. Oh my God, what's wrong with my phone? Oh, wait, I'm looking up the Panthers, not Bryce Young. So, yeah, just to talk a little bit about Bryce Young, he looked great in college. We're talking about he's going to be the number 1 pick. They got Miles Sanders. So their depth chart, the starters. So they got Bryce Young at QB. They have Miles Sanders in the running back position. And they also have a guy in Chuba Hubbard who was good for them last year, especially when CMC left. He really started to pick up a little bit. They got Adam Thielen. They got a guy in DJ Chark. They have an underrated tight end, in my opinion, in Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst had a decent year last year. I believe he was in New England. He was in New England last year. I'll tell you right now. I think he was in New England last year. Stats. I lied. He was in Cincy last year? Oh, he was the tight end in Cincy last year? Okay. My apologies. But no, Hayden Hurst is not bad. I think he's good. So this Panthers depth chart looks good on paper. Really, it really all just depends on how Bryce Young is going to be. If Bryce Young can be that young gunslinger and smart quarterback that he was in college, I think he'll be great. I think they're going to be good. They might make the playoffs. They might make the wild card. Um, I don't know what's going to happen with them, but they're definitely a team to look out for, especially if they get hot early. If they get hot early, I just don't know what their schedule looks like. But like I said, if they get hot early, they could be a team to reckon with. If not this year, definitely next year, because Bryce Young will have a year under his belt. He'll be better. He'll be a lot smarter. So that's definitely a good. He's definitely a good guy to look out for. Um, then you got the next quarterback in C.J. Stroud. People have been saying a lot of things about his height, that he's too small. He can't look over the defensive line. I mean, he can't look over the offensive line. Can't see his targets. They said the same thing about Kyler Murray. They said the same exact thing about Kyler Murray, and look what Kyler Murray's done. He's been a Pro Bowler. Kyler Murray's been a pretty good quarterback for most of his career. So my thing about CJ is that CJ really doesn't have a lot of weapons. So let's see what happens with CJ. I do wish nothing but the best for the kid. I hope he comes out. Like I said, I love quarterbacks who can fire with accuracy. So I'm hoping everything works out for CJ. And just talk about the last quarterback that I feel like a lot of people are going to watch their close eye on is Anthony Richardson for the Indianapolis Colts. Apparently, when he came in, they loved the way he was able to run the ball. They liked his arm. The only thing that was iffy about him was his passing accuracy. Apparently, in training camp, that's still kind of an issue. But Anthony Richardson seems like that kind of guy that he's been working on it. So we'll see how it happens at this level. The Colts, I don't expect much, but I don't know what's gonna happen. So it's really tough to see what's gonna happen with the Colts, especially with all this Jonathan Taylor news. And now you hear that Kareem Hunt left, couldn't reach an agreement. So it seems like there's like bad juju or like a bad cloud over the Indianapolis Colts. So Anthony Richardson is honestly my favorite quarterback coming out of this rookie class. So I want to see what happens with that. I hope nothing but the best for Anthony Richardson. I hope he comes out and balls out. In my opinion, I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be a great QB. He's gonna be. I don't want to say Lamar-esque because that's a little dramatic. Lamar is a MVP caliber player, but he does have shades of Lamar in his game. He can throw the long ball. Has a little bit of an accuracy problem, but he can move his legs and stuff like that. So um, Anthony Richardson is definitely going to be. I think all these quarterbacks. All these guys are really guys to look out for, especially who's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. A lot of people are talking about it's going to be Bijan Robinson, but it usually goes to a quarterback. So I want to see who's going to win. And on to the last piece of the rookie class to talk about the wide receivers. The funny thing about these wide receivers, when I was looking into them, they all got drafted within the next pick of each other. So like one guy got drafted, so JSN got drafted, then it was Quentin Johnson, then Zay Flowers, then Jordan Addison. So I have them ranked as guys who I think are going to have better years in on their teams and who's going to be up there in yards. At number one, I have JSN for the I don't even know how you say his name. Jackson Smith Enigma. I don't know how you say it. So I'm just gonna call him JSN. So JSN for the Seahawks. I think he automatically turns into that wide receiver 3. But when you have two guys that draw attention, like what's it like DK Metcalf, we're just talking about him. When you have two guys that draw attention like DK Metcalf, like Tyler Lockett, and then when Kenneth Walker comes back and you have a running back in Zach, I think he's going to be good. He looked really good in training camp. He seemed like he couldn't drop a pass. So I think he's going to have a great year. He might lead this rookie class in yards, I think. So JSN is arguably the best wide receiver in this class. And he just got drafted to the right situation, in my opinion, because I feel like Tyler Lockett's going to retire in about 1 to 2 years. Then they still have a guy in DK, and Tyler's just going to hand the keys over to DK, and then JSN will be right under his wing, and they're going to be a force. So I just hope JSN has a good first year. We'll see what happens. But in my opinion, I think he's going to lead this rookie class in yards. He's going to be the best wide receiver to come out of this class. The next guy I have written down is Jordan Addison for the Vikings. He becomes the wide receiver 2 next to Justin Jefferson, and he kind of the same thing like I said with JSN. When Jordan Addison, when you have a guy in that caliber player of Justin Jefferson on the other side, that only opens doors for you. So I feel like Jordan Addison he'll have a good year as well. I just don't trust Kirk Cousins. Everybody knows, Kirk can't play in prime time. So they're going to be weird. The Vikings are going to have a weird season. People are talking about they might make playoffs. Some people say they won't make it that far. And their defense is not good. The Minnesota Vikings, their defense is not good. You lose a deep threat guy in Adam Thielen. You lose a guy in Dalvin Cook, which I'm not really worried about because James Madison has started to take over that spot. So now this will be his first year as the RB1. I think he's going to be really good. But Jordan Addison, I think he's the second wide receiver on my list to look out for. I think he's going to be really good. It just all depends on Kirk Cousins. The next guy I have is Zay Flowers for the Baltimore Ravens. I think Zay is going to be nice. The kid's a speed demon. The kid can run. And I feel like when you have a guy in Zay Flowers and you have a quarterback in Lamar Jackson, you have another wide receiver in Odell Beckham, you have Mark Andrews. Rashad Bateman is coming back this year from injury. He's going to be really good. So they're going to be a team to look out for, especially because I have Lamar winning MVP this year. I think Lamar's really tired of all the people hating on him, saying he can't throw the ball, he can't do this, he can't do that. But now Lamar has an actual number one guy in Odell Beckham. Pray to God Odell stays healthy. But Lamar's my pick for MVP, and Zay Flowers is definitely going to get some attention the way Lamar throws the ball. That's really how Rashad Bateman came up in the depth chart, because Lamar started really throwing him the ball. And I just think the Ravens are going to be a force to reckon with. I think I had the Ravens at 6 in my first episode. I'll tell you right now. I had them at 7. I had them as the 7th best team in the NFL going into next year. So the Ravens are going to be a force. And obviously, people are going to be like, oh, it's because of Lamar. Oh, it's because of Odell. Don't sleep on Zay Flowers, man. I think Zay is going to be nice. And he might be that sleeper fantasy pick. He's definitely a guy you want, like, later on, or like we'll do, because I know in my fantasy draft we do, you have to have a rookie on your team. I'm definitely shooting for Zay Flowers. So we'll see what happens. And the last wide receiver I have on here is Quentin Johnston for the for the Los Angeles Chargers. he'll definitely get touches because that wide receiver core is always injured. You have a running back in Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen. You have Keenan Allen. You have Mike Williams. I don't know if he's going to get a lot of burn because like. Okay, let me rephrase that. It's not that he won't get a lot of burn. It's just Jefferson has a lot of options. And him also, he's a gunslinger. He likes to throw the deep ball. And when you have two deep threats, when you have a deep threat in Mike Williams and you have another guy in Keenan Allen, as long as they can stay healthy, I don't think Quentin is going to have – he'll have some looks, but he won't have as much as the other three guys that I listed. And especially when you have a top 3 or top 5 running back in Austin Eckler who can run the ball and catch the ball. So even though they are a pass-heavy offense, Quentin Johnston will be on the back end, but he'll still have his time. He just won't be as good as the other 3 guys I have on this list, in my opinion. So yeah, so with that leads into my last segment of the show. I have my MLB. I have my MLB segment of the show just to talk about it real quick. There was a fight that broke out between the Chicago White Sox and I forgot. And I wrote it down. That's bugging my mind. Wow. Hold on. Wow, that's bugging me out. Oh, shout out to Michael Lorenzen. He threw a no-hitter after being traded to the Phillies. So he got traded August 1st was the deadline to the Philadelphia Phillies. Then it was August 9th. He ended up throwing a no-hitter, which was nuts, which was crazy. Phillies ended up winning that game 7-0. I thought that was dope. And then to talk about the fight, there was a fight between the Chicago White Sox and the Cleveland Guardians with Jose Ramirez and Tim Anderson. Apparently, so what happened was Jose Ramirez was sliding into second. Tim Anderson was over him, caught the ball, tried to get him out. He missed it. Called him safe. And I think because he hit him in the face, which is why Jose Ramirez got all up in his face. And the funny part was that Tim Anderson threw his glove down. Tim Anderson threw his glove down and said, well, actually, he didn't even say anything. You couldn't tell in the video. He just squared up with him. So I was like, oh my God, this is really about to be a fight. And I thought it was going to go back and forth. They threw a couple punches, but Jose Ramirez, he ducked. He threw out a haymaker and just knocked Tim Anderson out. Like, it was like a Money Mayweather shot. Not really, but, I'm being dramatic. He literally took out his arm and just clocked him. And so that was crazy. And just talk a little bit about, I think they both got suspended. But I think Jose Ramirez got a little bit more for throwing the punch. It was funny because I was watching Mookie Betts on his podcast, and Mookie Betts said, Anderson's my boy, but he got. Like if you watch the fight, the fight is on Bleacher. It was sick. It wasn't sick as in like it was a crazy long fight, but he knocked him out. Like it was hilarious. And on to my last piece of the episode. I gotta talk about my girls. WNBA season still going on. We don't have a lot of time until playoffs. But shout out to the New York Liberty. They beat the Las Vegas Aces by a margin in a sold-out crowd. It was so dope to watch. I wish I was there. Hopefully, I'll come. I'm hoping to go to a playoff game this year. Like I said in the last episode, Brianna Stewart for MVP. Sabrina's been killing ever since the All-Star break. 3-point contest champion. And just to not talk about the Liberty, shout out to Diana Taurasi, man. Diana Taurasi is one of the greatest WNBA players of all time. She has officially, oh my God. Diana Taurasi has officially become the first woman in WNBA history to hit 10,000 career points after a 42 point outing with the Phoenix Mercury. Diana is probably going to go down as one of the GOATs. In my opinion, Sue Bird is the GOAT out of Long Island. Shout out to Sue Bird. But Diana Taurasi still playing. She is, oh man, she's so good, bro. She's so good, man. If you guys don't watch WNBA, all I'm going to say is basketball season's not going on. Football season's not here yet. I know you guys, some of you guys don't watch MLB. Tune into WNBA, man. WNBA is so much fun to watch. For some people that don't say it, for some people that don't say it's fun to watch, I highly disagree. If you're a basketball head like I am, you love the way people run their sets, you love the skill set, you're going to love watching WNBA, man. WNBA is so dope. You know, obviously there's lack of athleticism, but like the way that their minds work, the way that some of them can shoot the three ball, the way that some of them can dribble the ball around players, the way they can facilitate. Arike Ogumake, I think that's how you say her last name, for the Dallas Wings. I know her first name is Arike, but her for the Dallas Wings, she's a bucket. When you talk about the Sparks, the Ogumake sisters, they're really good. When you talk about the Liberty, you can see Brianna Stewart go to work. Work. When I tell you work, bro, work. Like she be killing everybody. You see Sabrina Ionescu shooting the long ball. She's about to be the women's cover of WNBA 2K24. Shout out to her. Obviously, you can watch the Phoenix Mercury. Diana Taurasi's a bucket. She's so creative. They literally call her the Kobe version of the WNBA. She's so nice. And yeah, man, just you listen, man. If you love basketball as much as I do, and don't care about athleticism, and you care about skills, you care about the way people run their sets, the way that people play, watch WNBA basketball, man. I'm telling you. And on that note, I'm going to wrap it up for episode 2 of the Trophy Room podcast. I appreciate y'all listening, watching, and bearing with me. My message I'm going to send you guys off with, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to all platforms, subscribe to the Trophy Room podcast on all platforms. I got TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends.